What if skiing was your only way to escape danger? In 1941, Helene Ehrlich used these skis to cross the border from Norway to Sweden, escaping Nazi persecution. Approximately 900 other Norwegian families, including my grandmother, escaped to Sweden via this route. When I saw these skis in our core exhibition, I was reminded of my own grandmother, Irene Levin Breman's escape story. Born and raised in Norway, at the age of 4, my grandmother was picked up from school by her non-Jewish babysitter, who informed her that they were going on a spontaneous vacation to pick potatoes. It was then that my grandmother, her mother, and her brother escaped to Sweden from Norway. Her family was dropped off at a dense forest on the border. They traversed frozen lakes and ponds, rowing themselves across the ones that were not frozen. My grandmother was carried in a backpack by a Norwegian resistance member. The morning they arrived in Sweden, November 26, 1942, the Gestapo in Oslo commissioned the SS Donau to send women, children, and the previously arrested men from Norway to Germany and eventually on to Auschwitz. They had escaped just in time. My grandmother and her family were welcomed into Sweden as refugees and worked to help locate missing people and assist other Jewish refugees. Sadly, other members of my grandmother's family, including her aunts and cousins, were unable to escape. After the war, my grandmother returned to Norway. These skis in our collection belong to Helene Ehrlich, who escaped to Norway from Prague in January of 1939. There, Helene worked for the Norwegian resistance, working undercover as a cleaning woman for the Nazis and gathering information for the resistance, until she was found out. The Norwegian resistance helped her ski across the border to safety in Sweden. Helene Ehrlich's skis are one of my favorite objects in our core exhibition, as they speak to the hardships my own family went through. At the same time, they remind me of the pride my grandmother took in her Norwegian and Jewish identities, a pride she passed on to me by taking me skiing while visiting in Norway when I was a kid. Come see these skis for yourself in the Holocaust, What Hate Can Do. Perhaps you'll find an object here that speaks to your own family stories.